What's going on, Axie fam? Elijah here, back with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the classic Beast Bird combination once again. I made a video on Beast Bird about 4 months ago, but I feel like it's a little bit outdated. There's still great information in there, but I want to get a little more modern and in the current meta, look at what's being used at the highest level for people who are running this build. Because ultimately, yeah, it's a very popular one for new players to pick up, but very seldom do those players actually make a climb into high MMR ratings or AXS rewards. So why is that? I think that for one, people generally go for the cheapest options when looking at beasts and birds to buy, and that's going to make a really big difference the higher up you climb. Generally, for a little bit more money, you can get a much better build, and I'm going to start things off here by looking at some do's and don'ts, okay? So this is a page of high quality birds that we are interested in buying. This is a really nice build, but before I get into that, let's look at what we don't want, okay? Now this is the cheapest bird that you can get on the market, and we can see here that it's lacking some of the most important skills we want to have on this build. One is post fight. That's a 0 cost card on the tail. It does 120 damage. It injures our bird a little bit, but that's not a huge deal because of how the bird works as a class. Really, they're very aggressive. They're trying to win the game in one round in 1v1s. They're not going into a back and forth situation, so HP isn't that important. This is the card we want. This build I just showed to begin with doesn't have it, and also it has Eggshell, which is a very important card, one that is essential for this build to be successful in my opinion, but we need it with Blackmail because we need to be able to transfer it off of ourselves and onto our opponents. For anyone unfamiliar, Eggshell causes aroma. That means that all the enemies are going to attack our bird instead of anything else that they were supposed to hit. Now what's really nifty about the build that we're going to be using today is that you play Eggshell, right? It casts aroma onto yourself, the bird, and then you can play Pigeon Post or Blackmail, and that transfers all your debuffs onto the target that you're hitting. So if I play Eggshell followed up by Blackmail, that means my bird is going to be safe. Like, I'm not going to kamikaze it if I don't want to, right? His Axies aren't going to prioritize it, and also gives me the opportunity to follow up any damage that my other Axies do. It's now going to prioritize whichever Axie I just transferred the aroma onto. So long story short, if I do a backdoor attack on, let's say, a reptile, and I play Eggshell, post fight, and Blackmail, that alone is going to be a lot of damage, not enough to kill it, but then if I also play 1 or 2 beast cards, that beast is going to bypass the opponent's plant and go straight for the reptile because now aroma will be on that reptile. So these sorts of things are very important. That leads me to my next point around why Eggshell is so important. So we actually do generally want to end up killing our bird off in a lot of matchups in the late game, specifically versus things like Terminators and reptiles. Our bird is just so bad against those in a 1v1 that there's going to come around where we want to time it so that we draw that reptile in to killing our bird, basically diverting it away from attacking our beast so that our beast can survive another round and then close out the game in a 1v1 versus a reptile, which they obviously have a pretty good matchup against. So plain and simple, this is the build. It's going to cost you a little bit more money than something like this that's going to be at the very floor level, but it's money well spent in my opinion. You'll be winning more arena games, meaning earning more SLP, earning back your investment faster, and you'll actually have legs to stand on with multiple builds for a while. Like, you can play around with this and some interesting aqua hybrids in the midline I've seen lately, like aquas with beast damage mixed in. It's just a really great build. It's been successful in season after season. Now, honorable mention to that is something that has been really intriguing and very powerful lately, and I actually would like to try it, but unfortunately, I think these are not correct floor prices. These have actually all been bought up, so the real floor is like 0.386 for this build, but essentially it's similar to what we just saw. It doesn't have the back door in Little Owl, but we have Double Talk, which is just really sick these days. Like, the damage buff to it helps a lot, and you bypass shield with this. So the thing is, like, Double Aqua is a terrible matchup for Beast Bird because of Koi. It usually allows the backline Aqua to kill the bird in the 1v1 because they can speed up. And then the midline Aqua generally should have some nice brick wall capabilities like Sponge and things that can put up high shield and make them hard to kill. So at least in the mid game portion of a battle, you can use like double talk post fight to kill a Aqua that might put up like, 150 plus shield, and that is obviously very massive. I don't know, this is an awesome build. It's just so damn expensive right now, and I might, I might need to revisit this and make a video. Let me know if you guys want to see some gameplay with this bird, because if there's enough requests for it, maybe I'll just bite the bullet and buy one and do a video on it in the future. Okay, so that's basically covering the bird. And then if we look at beasts, this is going to be the one I am showing as a to not buy, to not do situation. A lot of players come in and they purchase something like this. It's one of the cheapest beasts that you can get. And while it looks nice because it has Ronin and Goda and you get energy back with Imp and you're never going to run out of energy because you have Cottontail, that's all just like new player hype that doesn't actually mean anything. You're just so overloaded on energy here and not enough damage. Like, the thing with beasts is you need that firepower to get through the tank. This offers you very little ability. You have to wait for proper Ronin combos, and while it makes it easy to play with Cottontail because it's a zero cost, this just really isn't going to cut it or take you very far in arena. If you still were trying to go really budget, then at least do this with a double nut combination where you're just doing so much more damage. But ideally, you're just going to bypass Rimps altogether and go with something like this, which is what I'm going to be using in today's game. This is just a really well-rounded beast. Now we've got big damage in Dual Blade and Hair, and then I have a nice zero cost in Hero, which provides significant damage for being a zero cost. Helps me get through the tank, but also if I do get to the mid game with my beast able to get off one more round of attacks, if I can get off a Hero on an Aqua, I'm going to be drawing cards, which helps me out a lot. And then finally for Goda, I have that in there to help me control the speed of the game just a little bit and have some outplays. As I mentioned before, double Aqua is tough to play against, so if I can limit his energy and time these properly, it gives me at least a shot in that matchup. It also provides 40 shield, so there are some scenarios where I can put up just enough shield to survive or last stand and get off another wave of attack, and that is nice to have that in your back pocket. This might be a little bit difficult to find exactly, but you can switch some of these cards out. So if you don't find Dual Blade, perhaps Pocky could work, or Little Branch. Those are just very high damage cards similar to Dual Blade. The Hair, you could go with Rampant, Hal, or Shiba. That'll fill a similar slot. And then as far as the mouth goes, I think Goda is really quite nice there on a build like this, and a zero cost on the back with Hero. If this isn't working or you can't find one that kind of meets these requirements, then of course, a lot of players near the top of the leaderboard that are running Beast Bird, they just have something like this. And I think it's a little bit like, I don't want to say cheap, but it doesn't take that much maneuvering. Like, you just spam, you get so much damage. It's nice to be able to just clear out a tank so quickly. And I do think it's going to be a huge upgrade from the type of Rimp build that I showed earlier. So this could be something that if you're sitting there with that energy Rimp and you're not really sure what to do next to make your build better, simply buying a beast with this moveset would be a massive upgrade. You don't have any like steals, energy steals, or a high shield card for outplays, but again, just in its sheer firepower, you should be able to start climbing the MMR a little easier. Some final notes on beasts is that you never, like, if you're going out looking for something like this, right, you never want one of these to have just a single nut card. You're probably going to see a lot of that where, it's got some of this stuff, but then the tail is just a nutcracker card, and that might seem appealing because they might be more common than like finding a more proper version like this, but that damage difference is quite significant, and it's harder to get the Nutcracker damage bonus with just one card. Obviously, you have less combinations to draw to put together. 105, I think this is just like 139 to plants on its own, as opposed to Hair is upwards of 160. So the fact that you're not relying on those combos to just put out tons of damage is really where something like this can shine. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but kind of where Rimps lack is that you have to really wait for the proper combinations to get use out of them, and this does not need to do that. Finally, for our tanks, I think we have a couple options here. I'll be running this today. It's just, I don't even need to mention this build anymore because I've said it so many times in my videos. One of the best in the game. So well-rounded, damage, energy, steal, turn off mouth cards, helps in the early game versus other plants. But the other option that you have here is this. Now, I brought this up because I think this is what Venapot runs. And I'm trying to draw back and think, okay, who are the top Beast Bird players last season, and think about what kinds of compositions they had. I know Venapot was running the bird that I've recommended in the video and a similar beast, and this I think was his plant, and it's really cool and good for a Beast Bird build because you have the watering can, which is really going to slow down aquas because they don't want to just be attacking into you and giving you infinite energy. So that's going to help you a lot. And then Cattail is really, I think, an underrated plant tail. It's a 0 cost, and at first glance you're thinking, what is this random card I have on my tail? But actually the utility is fantastic. When you're facing other Beast Birds as opponents, it's going to give you a huge leg up if you just can, you know, throw these in the first round or two against beasts. You're going to be drawing cards when they hit you, and that just gives you way more options to potentially backdoor their bird before he backdoors yours, which we know in that matchup is a big deal. And even against a lot of what what's out in the meta, like there's the whole aquas with mixing in beast bug damage, so you're drawing cards against those. It does offer you a little bit of shield here and a touch of damage to maybe finish off some last stands here and there. You can pair it with Sirius at no cost to get the steals in the early game. And then we have Cactus as well for the big damage output from our tank. But yeah, that should give you a pretty good idea. As I mentioned today, I'm just going to be running it with Pumpkin, and we'll see how that goes. But I hope we covered enough of the fundamentals there for you to go out and do some shopping, or even just upgrade an Axie or two, because that could put you in the right direction, right? Like if you have one of these beasts or birds that I don't recommend, right? Go out, sell it, get what you can back, and then jump up to something that's way better, like this guy. All right, so here's my squad. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Arena and see if we can get an example of how this is going to play. Hey, look at this. We've got a mirror matchup. Well, kind of similar to a mirror matchup at least. Now, this is nice for me in particular because he has a very strong bird. Okay, this is the Polaco Indes Axie GG thing that they created. Very, very nice with the Cuckoo for high shield and the damage bonus, as well as the Hair Dagger, which lets you kind of draw cards infinitely as the game progresses. Now, it's nice though because I have a bird that's faster than him. He has the Beast card, so he's 59 and I'm 61. And I also have Little Owl, so I can backdoor his bird. He can't threaten me with that. So that's, I think, a bit of an advantage for me. Now, in round 1, very interesting beast here as well. I think I'm actually going to just pass one round. I know, I probably shouldn't have done that. It's got such an aggressive build. I should have seen this coming. That was my fault. That's okay, though. I think I'll live nonetheless. And then I can at least play a Pumpkin next round. I wouldn't have gotten anything out of the Sirius anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. Now, I think I'll just do Pumpkin to kind of slow him down here, make him have to use more than one card to kill me. I'm going to go for a kill, like straight up. Just going to do it this round. I could pass because I haven't seen a Yam yet or anything, but he already played one Garish, and that's really his highest shield card. So this should get it done, and then I can work on getting rid of this beast in the next round. I might get hit with Yam, but I can also transfer it in the following round with Blackmail, so that's kind of nice for me. Okay, so he is going to... Okay, nice. We actually fade the Yam, which is really convenient for us. And I think that he's using both of his energy and a leaf bug. So as long as I can get the kill here, he won't have any energy. Oof, we get the crit. Unnecessary, but still looks cool. Okay, so now he only has 2 energy. This I know for a fact. Interesting. I mean, well, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is that the bird is a bigger threat to me in this game than the beast. So it's tempting to backdoor it. Now, the problem is I haven't seen... Have I seen Cuckoo yet? I think I've seen one. The thing about a bird like this is that it can actually put up quite a bit of shield. Wait, actually, maybe I can. I'm just gonna try. This might be wrong, but okay, 32 shield. I think there's no way he lives through that. Nice. All right, very, very sweet. Yeah, I think the 3 cards is just too much. If he had a massive brick wall, like I guess he would have needed like a full hand. He might have been able to survive that. And now, I mean, what do? I guess I can just pass, honestly. I mean, I think the story here is just the same. I'm just gonna pass again and let him kill my beast. All right, he uses all 3 of his energy. He's praying for a miracle here. He's praying for me to do some attacking for some reason, which of course I'm not gonna do. But now I get to finish things off here very nicely and easily with these 3 cards, and that should be enough. I don't think he last stands. I think this is just a flush kill. 160 and boom. Good night, beast. Sweet. 1-0 on the session, which is lovely. Let's see if we can get one more game in, perhaps against not a beast bird, because let's see something a little bit more dynamic. All right, wow, very interesting build we're up against here, and it looks like they've been watching Axie on the Moon videos because they're rocking that Garish, which we all know I love to play so much. It's a lot of fun. And this is kind of that Aqua with Beast Bug damage mixed in as well. Heavily leaning toward the Beast and Bug damage, actually. Only one Aqua card, so interesting stuff happening here. I think this is going to be a game where if I'm going to win, it will be one of those that I have to properly time the eggshell to pull away this reptile so that my beast can finish things off. Because in this 1v1, this bird has no chance versus this rep. So that's something I'm going to be thinking about. Now, I mean, what an insane first draw for me. I'm definitely going to play all three of these on this plant here. If he doesn't play anything on the Aqua, I'll get 2 cards out of it. Let's go. 2 extra cards. That Hair Dagger value with the crit. Oh my god. That was a sick first round. I'm not going to lie. Is he doing double Cuckoo? That's very, very strange. Well, anyway, he's got 4 energy. We have 2, but he has no tank. His tank is completely dead. Let's see. Now, I think he's got 4 energy because we destroyed 1. I mean, he can't kill me here, honestly. Even, yeah, so I think I'll just probably, do I want to do a hot butt? Maybe I'll do, actually, maybe I'll do a Pumpkin Serious. I don't really, like, turning off the mouth cards on this thing isn't really that big of a deal, and I'd rather just guaranteed to reduce as much damage as possible because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting hit here. Okay, he passes. I wonder if he's just given up on this game already. That was a brutal first round for him. All right, now we're heading into round 3. He has 6 energy. We have 3 energy. With 6 energy, what can he... I mean, I think maybe what I want to do is... Actually, I'm just going to slow down the pace of the game and brick wall. 200 shield. I'm going to try and make him waste as much cards as he can here without, really doing anything critical. So he uses 5 energy. So he's only going to have 3 next round, which is pretty huge for me. I'm only going to have 2, but again, I'm slowing things down here. And now I can start to think about getting a kill on this Aqua in the next round, actually, because I've already heard him. He used 2 high shield cards, and he can't play Lamb, which is his other high shield card. So he pretty much, I mean, he's just very restricted in terms of what he can play. Almost nothing. Which is why I think now I can just do this and lock up a kill. Yeah, I mean, only 20 shield. This is just rough for my dude. Rough for him. I'm not going to lie. It does feel good to just get those clean wins sometimes. Axie Infinity is such a tough game. All right. Now, it doesn't really matter from here what I do. I'll probably just pass. But I think we actually will get to see what I was talking about in action, which will be the egg play, because I'm still going to have to do that actually to win this. This poor guy, he can't even kill my plant. I do expect him to play Cuckoo to burst, basically to get rid of the last stand ticks and then to hit my beast. And he would leave it stunned, which is kind of annoying. I mean, ultimately, he won't kill it if he does that, so I guess I could let him. I think I'll start doing some damage. Just something like this. All right, so that's exactly what I thought he was going to do in terms of the double Cuckoo. And it's interesting, though, because I'm wondering what he's going to, what's he going to do from here? Oh, wait a minute. Did this guy just full gamble? No. So he went Cuckoo. Oh, wow. He probably did the only thing he could do to potentially win this game, which was to like hope that I attacked, because if I had done nothing, he'd have played Cuckoo and then just rammed all of that straight into my plant. I'm guessing he didn't even have a second Cuckoo if that's the way he played that one. Anyway, nonetheless, I'm playing 4 bird cards here. I'm gonna kill him anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And we crit. We crit for the extra icing on the cake to take that game down. I might have got a little impatient there in the second to last round, but it doesn't really matter. We were able to get it done. And yeah, I think this is probably a good place to wrap up the video. As you can see, it's high throttle. Like, you're putting your foot on the gas pedal when you play this build. Now, you do need to try and be aware of certain timing things. If you get a beast with energy steal like Rice or Goda, you want to try to time that so that you limit his options heading into the round after your tank dies. So that if he has an Aqua build, he only has 2 energy, ideally, and that can't kill you, so you can get 1 more round of value out of your beast. It's not the easiest thing to pull off, but definitely trying to time it so that you're limiting his options in critical moments of the game. If you get a 0 cost on your beast like Hero, that's one of the reasons why you don't need something like Cottontail to keep gaining energy, because you have a 0 cost on the back line and on the mid line, And then up front, you can steal some energy, which helps, but generally you're playing so fast that your energy management should be fine with the fact that you're built out like this with the 0 costs. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment below and let me know what you want to see next. Follow me on Twitter at ElijahCTG, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.